So, my youngest grandson and my granddaughter both have the flu right now. My youngest grandson woke up about 2:30 this morning, just Papa. He had a burning up fever. So I took him to work. Checked his fever. It was at like 105 a couple times and 104 a couple times. So I was like, all right, that's enough. Got up, took him to the ER about 2 o'clock. 2:30. Left the house, I guess, about 3 o'clock. Went to the ER. And we got done there. It didn't take too long. Once they figured out he had the flu, and he's like, well, it's kind of normal it is normal for him to have a high temperature, for it to spike and then go down, spike and then go down. Just like every 6 hours, give him Tylenol, and every 4 hours, give him Motrin. So they give him some medicine there at the ER, and we came back home, and once we got home, never did go back to sleep. So I've been awake since like 2:30 or something like that this morning. And I can tell it too. It's crazy how sleep. I've been doing these 45-degree cuts for I think this is my 5th day, over here working. And I just struggled so much on these. That one specific piece in particular right there, I was like, what in the world? He must have took my board out. But anyway, I was like, man, I could tell I didn't get much sleep. My mind just ain't working right. Actually, several of these boards I've had problems. I'd just be like, what in the world is going on here? I just can't think. And just not enough sleep. So it's important. You guys get your rest if you got to use your brain the next day, that's for sure. Got all this over here done up. Completed all of this. Get the dishwasher set back there. No, I did not pull that. No, I am not putting it back. I tell the homeowner, I don't deal with dishwashers. What I do, I raise the front legs up, put the flooring just under the front legs, level it back up, put the front on. That's all I do. They say, well, we'll take care of it because we want it underneath there. Okay, so they pulled it and they put it back. We got the little refrigerator back in there. Put the table back over where it goes. Got this little corner finished up. I started to set the commode, and once I got it set down on there, I already had the wax ring set down on there, and it had this thing. I figured what the deal was, but I was like, well, I'm gonna take that extra thickness off of there, because where this was, this had tile down at first, it was thicker, so it was teetering back and forth, and that's why that's cut out like that, is because it had this on it. So once I pulled that up, I was like, well, I need to take that off there just to get the extra thickness down. I don't want to shim the commode up. I hate it when that has to happen. So what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to leave that up and get the bolts that will screw down into the subfloor instead of actually grabbing a hold of this, because I don't want to put that back. I want to get the bolts that screw down into the subfloor. This is a wood floor, and that thing is beat to death. I don't think I ever seen one that busted up before. I mean, it's crazy, man. It is crazy. But I ain't really got a whole bunch of choice except for putting them bolts in there. I mean, you can see this, where the different thickness is. Look at that. Now, that can just be dealt with right there, but it just goes to show how thick it was. I don't know how Well, I do know how thick the towel was. I can't believe there's that much of a difference. That was probably sticking up a little bit to begin with. I'm guessing because that towel wasn't dramatically thick. And you got the thickness of this plank also, and it's just like, well, looky here. These jambs in here was already cut for tile. You can see they're not too crazy high. See that? You can see the inside that I cut, and then the outside actual jamb right where you at? Oh, right there was already cut, and then I cut this part. So ain't a whole lot of difference. Kind of crazy. But anyway, waka waka. I want to have me a little coffee break. I noticed that some of these, right there's one, some of my pieces has slid a little bit. Waka waka up next to the wall. Some, not a bunch of them, because for the most part I would put spacers in there whenever, and sometimes you just have to like barely tap the end of these here, like I would tap the end of that, just boom, just to get that to scoot over just a little bit to be lined up perfect to do that. And obviously just a slight, ever so slightly tapping was moving some of them rows. So we'll have to go around the which that ain't gonna matter because the baseboard's up in here, so I'm cool with that. But in here where the baseboard is not up and it was on a hardwood floor, which there ain't honestly, I haven't even checked in here for closeness. See right there? That's a little close. I will have to trim that up right there, and I will do that with Oscar. I'll take Oscar once I'm completely done before I quarter round it. I'll go around any spot that has moved and got a little tied on me from Taparuin. I will take Oscar and give it just a little trim before I put my quarter round down there. Cannot stress expansion enough. Has to have proper expansion. Somebody said, well, the LVP click don't move much. It would be different if it was glue down. I get that, but check this out, because this is on an angle. I don't have no straight wall here, like to put my spacers, and then all the tapping is straight back. It's all at an angle, so it's like, man, I was trying to twist this way with my little bit of tapping on it just to get them together. So that's why I was a little concerned about the one doorway in there, right up there, and also just a little bit concerned right about that bar. But everything worked out beautiful. I couldn't be happier with the way they lined up. Everything just did fantastic. I'm gonna finish drinking up that Dunkin' Donuts right there and take a little break. My goodness gracious. And I'm gonna have a seat with Lucas over there. So I wanna do the ollie in profiles around that marble right there. I think that'll look nice. I've not had the opportunity to use those around marble. I seen Billy Graham done that around some really pretty tile, and it looked phenomenal. So I'm kind of excited about that. And with the colors and the fixtures and stuff that they got, see that right there? I am going to go with the Antiquio. I think that'll just be best because they got the gray and black all throughout the hacienda. So those doors, by the way, are going to need cut. I'm almost certain of it. Almost as certain. So yeah, so you can see the fixtures and the cabinet handles and everything like that is that stainless steel. So I will do the antique ollie in profiles over around that. And that's probably the only ones that I'm going to use. Oh yeah, even the floor vents. See, so that'll match perfectly. But anyway, I'm tired and I feel like I'm just rambling on, so I'm going to shut up and sit down and chill for a few minutes. Walk 10 minutes of walking around just gabbing, blah, blah, blah. Mr. Lucas, I just had an epiphany when I was upstairs. Come here for a minute. Step right in there. I think I know what's going on with this. We set this down so it don't fall, and I'll just set it over there. I want you to lay that toilet up for me, please, sir. Don't do that. Pick up under here. Just lean it forward. There you go. Well, okay, maybe not. I thought maybe I left the wax ring on the bottom of that, but no. All right. Well, at least I don't feel so stupid now. I thought maybe I left the actual plastic piece to the wax ring on there, and that's why I wasn't going down on there. But no, I guess the one that they used was just a solid wax and no plastic ring. What I found out, I already had a couple rows done down here, and I was actually going to use this Ollie trim line, and I stuck it down there to check the gap, the expansion, and I realized, oh no, this thing was actually riding up underneath of the plank because it wasn't thick enough, just a little bit from where they had their bed of mud. So I was like, well, I can't use that. So I have resorted to, I've got my little stone, whatever, brick cutting little bit here for grout and stuff like that. I'm actually going right underneath just a little bit. I'm not getting too crazy. I want just enough to go under there and get my expansion. You can see what I got there. I don't like cutting that out because it creates a little shelf effect, which will be a weak spot on the edge of that if anybody was to ever like jump on it or anything like that. There's nothing to support it. However, the plank will be under there, but it's not going to be like a bed of mud. So I don't like doing that, but at this point, I don't really have a choice. We could run quarter round on it. Definitely don't want to do that. So that's what I have resorted to, is just cutting out the mud enough to get my plank underneath of it. Definitely not the fastest, but it works and it'll look clean when I get done. Okay, we got everything wrapped up. We got the install complete. By the way, before some people start saying, you should get you a real jam saw, blah, 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 blah. I have the Big Bad Crane 835 with the 837 dust shroud and the 822 diamond blades and the 821 regular blade. I believe that's the number on that last one. But I have the hose set up for dustless. And like I said, I usually, whenever I'm cutting stone, fireplaces, or brick or anything like that, I bring it. I didn't plan on cutting that little fireplace over there, so I didn't bring it. Unfortunately, I cannot keep all of my tools on the van at one time because I just ain't got enough room on the van. That's it. I just ain't got enough daggum room. If I ever, and I mean if I ever, get me another truck, it's going to be a cutaway truck. The U-Haul style truck is what I want. Maybe a 14 or 16 footer. This looks really nice, by the way. I'm kind of glad I didn't use that Ollie transition. That looks nice. I just love a transitionless install. Anyway, we are all done. I will be back tomorrow to caulk the doorways and put down some quarter round. Got 45 feet of stained quarter round and around the kitchen cabinets and stuff, and everything else will be painted white. Will be painted white. I gotta set this bad boy back. So, like I was talking about earlier, I'm gonna probably just end up bolting that down to the floor using the screw and the subfloor type motorboats. And transition right here over the step. Anyway, thank you guys again for tuning in to the daily grind. I really appreciate you guys watching all this stuff, and I hope I can give enough information in these videos. I might ought to try a little harder on that to get more input as far as how-to stuff in these daily grinds. I really want to do that. I don't want my channel to be an entertainment channel by no means. You see there, right there's a good tip. Learn this whenever you're done for the day and your clients are not around. Just go ahead and turn all the lights out, close the curtains, leave enough lights for them to get around and see. Thank you guys for tuning in to this daily grind. Until tomorrow, FBS, peace out.